Hey, right back at you guys again. This is Ant, the main star of the show, just letting everybody know. No, this is me and DnA, our beliefs, our legacy, our show. And if you guys can see, we're rocking the new shirts that my boy D, his wife, got for us for Father's Day, and I appreciate it. And we got Isaac Jones. Hey, Derek, hit it off.
Yeah, we got Isaac Jones in the lab today, and we're excited because Isaac does really what Anthony and I do, invest a lot of time in the community, just giving back to young men and kids in a way a little different than Anthony and I. We do it through football and basketball, and he does through MMA. So this is Isaac Jones from, what's your gym? Sacred Scars?
Yep, Sacred Scars MMA is what our gym is. And we're just a nonprofit group of guys that get together and train and, make each other better.
Nice.
Right.
I think that's unique, man. It's really cool because, we've been doing sports for a long time, and we see the benefits that it has for a lot of young kids and men. And to see just a little bit different of a twist to it, right? And MMA is a sport, and it's still kind of new, I guess, in a sense where people don't see that as an outlet for young kids,
right?
Which I think it totally can be.
Right, I agree. I think that especially, and you guys watch the show, I think that young men, boys need an outlet. And even, there's girls too, but there's sometimes that your kid may not get an outlet from throwing a football or catching a football or tackling somebody or shooting a three-pointer. So if they can build a skill, MMA it's a martial art, so it's pretty much better than karate because you're learning everything. So we brought him on the show because he's doing good things for the community, Moses Lake, and we just kind of want to get to know, a little bit more about him, his story, and so let's just basically getting it started off, dude. We do our show with the wine, right? So we got some Dark Horse here. Isaac's going to drink with us. Derek's going to get buzzed again. And I'm always buzzed, so I'm going to crack this open.
Crack it open. What was funny is I was watching our last show. It was the first time I think I've had wine. And every time I took a drink of wine, dude, my face, if you go back and watch the video, dude, my face looks like I didn't like it. And I didn't, bro. It was gross, dude. So, hey, is that the same kind that I have right here?
Yes. That's
okay.
The same kind I have right there.
I think part of the problem was Anthony was filling mine to the top the whole time.
Hey, turn your back and he had it full again.
Well, the thing is that Derek doesn't drink, and if you guys notice watching the show, Derek cussed more on that show than he has combined all of the other shows.
Combined, I know. So, yeah. Anthony, what is this, Anthony? What are we drinking tonight?
This is Dark Horse. This is a rosé. And it's made in Ireland. Okay, no, probably France. But hey, the beans are from France. But hey,
this is better than the last one though.
What is it?
I like this better. Already,
he's becoming an alcoholic. That's how it usually starts. All right, so we had one of our shows that we had Isaac. We talked about. Go ahead and hit it, Isaac. Yeah,
well, I remember somebody was telling me when you're wine tasting, you got to spin it around the glass like this.
Yeah,
and see the legs.
Is that what they said? The legs?
That's the percentage of the alcohol.
The legs.
How slow it rolls down the glass.
Let me say it again. The legs.
I see what you're talking about.
Roll it. Stronger wine will stay up a little more. Weaker wine kind of just
comes out. Oh, yeah. Wow.
And that's why they call it the legs. It's like a race down the glass.
Oh, Isaac, shit, hey. Isaac, that's what it is, the legs, huh?
Yeah, we did the swirl thing. We did the smell thing. We did the gargle thing.
You said you do like that.
But oh, man, I'm learning.
That's pretty good.
How much was this, Anthony? How much was this wine?
This was, it was $11.99, but over at Rite Aid it was $6.99.
Ooh, got that good deal.
Yep, $6.99. Are you out of your mind?
So Isaac, let me ask you, man. So, how did you get involved in the MMA scene, and how did you go about even starting a gym? What started that?
Oh man, it's a funny story because when I was a little bit younger, I'm 37 right now, but let's go back about 10 years. I was, going to the bars, hanging out, and I just kept getting into bar fights. I don't know why. People would,
you said bar fight,
yeah,
huh?
Bar fights. People would bump into me, and we'd be swinging. I'm not proud of that. I tell my kids, no, we didn't do that. But Anthony Hamlet, who used to train a gym here, he was putting on an event over at the Porterhouse Casino that used to be over there.
Yeah.
And one night after a fight happened and I won, he was like, "Hey, Isaac, you want to do a real fight?" And I was like, "Real? What are you talking about, a real fight?" That was a real fight.
That was a real fight.
And he was like, "No, I'm talking about in the cage, with real trained fighters." And I was like, "Well, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this." So it was the next day. It was a Friday night, and the fight was on Saturday. So I got some shorts on, and I was all ready to go.
You were just gonna get in the ring?
Yeah,
just like that?
No training, nothing. I was just like, "Hey, let's do this. It's a fight, right?"
Did you grow up fighting a lot growing up, or just a little bit older? You're hanging out and you just kind of got into it.
That was actually my very first fight.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, I never fought before.
And you said, "Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah, well, as in, I didn't. I dropped out of wrestling. I didn't do anything fight wise. Besides at the bars when I had to defend myself.
Right. So I'm pretty good with these things. Huh?
Yeah, where'd these come from?
Yeah.
And so I went to the fight, and I had my cousins and my cousin Flex and my cousin Eric, and they were walking me down, pumping me up. "You got this, Isaac. Let's go do this." Yeah. I get in there, and I remember everything got all quiet. And I was just like, "Oh man, I'm in here
really
myself."
in here.
And I went against a guy from Othello who was a state champion wrestler. And I just remember going in and just took that haymaker, I'm just going to get him. Yeah. I swung, he dipped under it, caught me in the clinch. I pushed him off, and he hit me. Pow, pow, gave me a 3-piece real quick. Ding, ding, ding. Started hearing zzz. I was rocked. And I just remember going down, and my vision left, and I could only see looking through a little pee hole that.
I know what that looks like.
I was like, "What is going on?" And so then next thing I know, he was on my neck, and I was getting choked, and I tapped. Didn't even know what tap was, but I tapped.
That's survival instinct, right?
Survival instinct. So that was my very first match, and I lost it, and I was like, "Man, I like this. I got to learn what this is."
And then it was a challenge. I think, like anything
That's
else,
awesome, man.
Just a
That's
challenge,
awesome
right?
because your ego didn't. It's like, hey, this is something that I can. Yeah.
Well, and I think that's what a lot of kids need too, right?
Yes.
Because one of my questions I had for you was, how would kids take to MMA? Would it make them more of a bully because they're learning a skill set, or would it make them more what's what I'm looking for? Know how to get out of a situation because they're mentally tougher.
Right.
You learn all these techniques and stuff, so you know how to get out of a situation.
Right. Yeah.
So what do you think as a young kid? Is that something?
As a young kid, I've trained, and I actually train younger kids, but we don't call it MMA. We call it anti-bullying.
Nice.
So I train an anti-bullying class for ages 13 and below.
That's good.
I've noticed that with younger kids, a lot that have anger issues or have problems going on at home, they come and it's an outlet for them.
Yeah.
So it's an outlet for them to learn, to focus, and it humbles you.
Yeah.
Because you can't always be the best, and even the best lose.
Yes.
So in the gym.
Yeah.
So it's like it builds their confidence, but it also humbles them at the same time. So you don't build that bully effect where you're just trying to hurt people because you know what it's like to get choked out, tapped out, and everything.
Yes,
Right. Okay.
And that's awesome because we were talking about earlier is that I would like my boys and even myself to get, because I feel like I can fight, right?
Yeah. Well, you used to be able to fight real good.
Yeah, but my fighting back then was that Kevin Hart. That fight that he talked about, thugs going against MMA guys. Yeah, I talked, and then I could throw them. I could throw them. But now, if you have the skill to throw them, and basically mainly protect yourself on the ground, standing up in a corner. I mean, you're good, and so that's just one of those things. Is I think that kids definitely need an outlet, especially in this community. And I was going to go and bring the question up about how we have a lot of gang violence going on in here. And then we live, one of the areas in Moses Lake would be the base, that there is a lot of kids that don't have the resources to get to do a lot of these things that a lot of kids can do. And I was a base kid, and I know exactly because I had my run-ins with the gang or whatnot you want to call it. And they need an outlet, and I can guarantee you, if I had a guy like Isaac around, that's where I would have been at. Just looking for some leadership. So, what do you think about these kids in the base area in this gang activity?
So, that's really my passion right there. I grew up. I was born Vandenberg, on Vandenberg Street, right there by Larson School. And so my dad, he actually, as we were growing up, he saw, how it was kind of starting to get a little gang infested and stuff. And so he moved us out to the country, out to Road K, and got us kind of out of there. But I always had a heart for that area. I went back. I started working at the Boys and Girls Club right there on the base. And the thing is, there's so much talent there, sports-wise, energy-wise.
So much potential.
Yes, so much potential. And a lot of the kids don't have a mentor to push them, to tell them that they can be something great, that they can be something other than just what's right in front of them. They start seeing, oh, well, this guy's making money or this guy's doing that, and that's what they want to do, and that's what they're looking at. But once I brought the gym in, it seemed like I just started pulling. I don't have a fee, so I don't charge any kid to come and train. I don't charge anything. It's all donation based. We have a lot of good businesses here in Moses Lake that give the money to help out because they see the need and they want to help. They don't always do it for the publicity. They just do it because they know that this is a good thing. So and I got to give a shout out to a couple of them.
Give a shout out, man.
Okay, Dino Cacciati.
Nice.
He's a good donor to the gym. He saw it and he just jumped in. Steve Rimple from Moses Lake Steel.
Nice.
We have Derek, and he's actually one of my fighters. But his dad is Greg, and he runs Greg and Derek's Lock and Key out of Ephrata.
Okay.
They're a good sponsor, and so it's expensive. Yes, I got to say it is, but I have a lot of help. I have a lot of people that back me and say, hey, we see what you're doing.
That's good.
You go out and put in the time, and we'll back you up.
And I truly believe that what you're doing is going to be huge. I think it's going to be one of the biggest things that comes out of Moses Lake. Just the guys that you named off, because a lot of people is that what you're doing. It's kind of something it's been around here, but a lot of the adults were doing it. But when you start touching the babies, and we talked about earlier before we turned on the camera, we talked about just some guys. If you look at the American MMA, UFC names, a lot of these guys didn't come from money. A lot of these guys were kind of poor kids, from Rampage Jackson to the Diaz brothers. These guys were coming from areas, and there was an outlet for them. And so, like I said, man, I mean, me and Derek, man, we do what we grind with our kids, with the basketball and football and stuff like that. But we want to be able to send our kids to somebody that we know. Yeah. Which would be Isaac. Like, hey, listen here, Isaac, this is a kid that has the potential. He has the strength, especially because a lot of these kids, they may not have the skill set on doing a football activity, but they can sure throw those things or wrestle, what I'm saying? And that's just how it is. It's a good thing when you have a community of especially when you have
and it's just opportunities, right? I think the biggest thing that I know I'm passionate about, Anthony, as it sounds like you are, is just giving kids opportunities, new opportunities, because the truth is not everybody's going to do the school and book thing, man. And we just need to give kids more and more opportunities to be who they are, to be creative, to find something that they're passionate about, and I think that just makes them a well-rounded person, gives them opportunities in the future to be successful.
Exactly.
We put everybody in a box, and then you have some of those kids, you're right, Ant, who we can't necessarily attract and hold on to in basketball per se, and then we lose them. Then they're not in the school because it's not the thing. Then they lose them, so they need to have another avenue. And this could be it for a lot of kids, man. Yeah,
this could be, and if that's all it is, you may be a kid that may have the opportunities in life, and your parents may have a lot of money. You just may need an outlet, like Creed. Remember you seen Creed? He was just a fighter, like his dad. You may just need that outlet, and you can come to see my man Isaac here, man. And
so where's the gym at?
So the gym is at the church in Moses Lake. It's the old Daystar School building, where I used to go to high school.
Okay.
And it's in the old weight room, and we turned it into the Sacred Scars gym. It's matted. We have all the equipment, gloves, pads, shin guards. You got to bring your own mouthpiece and cup, though. We don't provide that. But
so Isaac, if I wanted to come down right now and I'm a kid watching this video, how do I get in touch with you, and how do I get involved?
Okay, so most of the time people contact me on Facebook. We have Sacred Scars MMA page on Facebook, and I always answer on there. I probably get 20 to 30 requests. And the thing about the gym is it's 2 parts. So it's a fighter's gym where I train fighters that actually go to events, train, and fight. And then there's the anti-bullying and younger kids group that I do. I don't really do the trying to get in shape and stuff right now because I'm too focused on I have a big group and the mat time. I can't stretch it out. So a lot of people have been reaching out saying, hey, can you train me to lose some weight? Can you, do this? And I'm like, you might want to hit a gym for that. You know, I'm kind of focusing on the guys and on mixed martial arts.
Okay. So what do you think that will help you to get to the next level where you feel like you need to be to where you feel? Do you need more money? Do you need more space? What do you feel like for you to get to that next level?
I feel like we're at a good grind right now. You know, I have some good people that provide for us, and we're always looking for donations. That always helps because it gets new gear, gets cleaning supplies, it gets things like that. So I never turn away somebody trying to donate to the gym, but it's mostly on the guys, because it's where they want to go with this. Yeah. Because a lot of the guys, I've been training some guys for 8 years, 5, 8 years. Yeah. Just investing, just putting into them and just seeing where they can go. And that's the thing, I accomplished all my dreams pretty much, when I was talking to you guys about the going on MTV and riding bulls and, that's what I dream of doing. And so I think once I completed that, I was like, how great that was for me to do something that I always wanted to do, that I dream about, and then I did it. And so it's like, now I can tell people anything that you ever dream of doing, you can do.
Right. Yeah.
There's no limit. No limit.
Yep. And they just need more people like you in the corner, right? They need the reaffirming person that can be like, you can do this, because so many times we'll put a cap on people where their outlandish dreams are outlandish. Like, there's no way. Like, dude, come on, man, it's a pipe dream. But you're right, bro. We need to be there to support these kids and people and whatever their endeavor is, man. In my opinion, dude.
That's awesome. So me and Derek, we had a episode and we talked about. We watched, basically, I don't know who came up with that question. I think it was Smalls. One of our friends Smalls came. And so the thing is, questioning you, my man, would you take a punch? Would you rather take a punch from Mike Tyson with the glove on, right now, his age right now, to the face, or get kicked in the face by Conor McGregor? Either one of those. Which one would you take?
That both sound like brain damage, but I think I'd take the Mike Tyson punch with the glove on, because the leg, when you get kicked by a leg kick, is like getting hit by a baseball bat.
That's what I said. That's what I said. But then I see Mike Tyson train. I was like, I don't know, man. I might go back to the
because they got their hands wrapped, and then you got 12 inches of padding or whatever it is. Yeah. But with this shin, look, there's no meat, nothing. It's just a bone.
That shin's conditioned like a baseball bat. Yeah. So there's a story. Was it his name is Forrest Griffin, right? Yeah. And I guess a reporter was asking Forrest Griffin, hey, just do a leg kick. Just give me a leg kick. And he was like, nah, man. The reporter's like, come on, man, just give a leg. And he fucking kicked that guy and fucking broke his leg, dude.
I just watched on social media the other day. It was a guy saying, what's the Steven Seagal technique?
That motherfucker's bad, bro.
He's bad, but what's is it Aikido or something, right?
Something like
Aikido,
that.
Right? He was basically saying, this social media video, he was saying how it's better than jiu-jitsu. It's better than, because you can defend everything. He's working on defending.
I don't know about that.
Anyways, the funny thing is to put him in a ring with a guy, and the guy just beat the crap out of him, and he'd get hit, slapped, like, time out. It's the most funny thing I saw. I was like, yeah.
Dude, I started watching MMA. I mean, it was back in the early it could have been the early 2000s. But it was like UFC. It was the Gracies, right? Okay. And Royce Gracie was the guy, right? And Royce Gracie and his family, just to me, they changed the whole UFC. So who is your favorite UFC guy?
Well, the greatest of all time in my time, John Jones.
He's the GOAT. You like John Jones? Okay. Yeah, you know who I am. I'm the Spider, Anderson Silva.
Okay, yeah, that too.
You used to be Tito Ortiz.
No, I'm not Tito.
Got to change it.
Let me tell you like this. I did have a man crush on Rampage Jackson. I love some Rampage, bro. but Anderson the Spider is my guy, dude. Yeah. So, okay, so we just questions. We're kind of going along, So, what about your kids? Will you be okay with your kids?
Shoot. I mean, I train my kids. I've been training them since, my youngest son, Isaiah, he's been on the mat since he was crawling around. Mm-hmm. Wow. And my daughter, I've trained both my daughters. And, if they want to fight, they can fight, but they don't. Mm-hmm. My son, we'll bring out this little story.
Tell us a story.
Principal, man. Don't get mad at me. But they were playing at school, and a kid bumped his ball, and so he went to get
bumped
it.
Bumped his ball or bumped his ball?
He bumped his ball. They were playing bump.
Okay.
And so his ball went over rolling, and someone grabbed it, and he went over there to get it, and the kid was like, "No, you can't have it." And Bubba's little. Right. He's small. Everybody just picks on him because he's little, but he's. You guys coached him.
Yeah,
so
he's got some skills.
Yeah. So the kid, I guess, kicked him in the leg. Bubba put him in a guillotine.
That kid puts him in a guillotine, dude.
At school. So the principal calls me up. He already knows Bubba. He knows me. He's like, Isaac, I can't have that MMA stuff coming here to school. I was like, I'll have a talk with him.
Yeah.
He got expelled for a day or suspended for a day. And I talked to him and I said, hey, Bubba, this is self-defense. This isn't used at school and someone kicked in the leg. Yeah, that's what the principal said too.
Yeah.
Technically, he got hit first, but when you're trained, you know how to.
You know what, man? I say fuck that, bro.
I agree. I think a lot of us agree in a sense because we're old school. You know what I'm saying? And you defend yourself and this is the thing, bro. I get so frustrated with off subject.
Go ahead, tell me, because Derek.
No, it's just schools in general, right? It's not just black and white, dude. We gotta quit. We got to quit treating those incidents like they're black and white.
Man, Derek, you gotta drink your drink, dude.
A zero tolerance policy, I do get, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if there's an aggressor, a known aggressor, you can't. Man, if somebody smacks me, dude,
you're supposed to hit them back.
Yeah,
because that's the whole deal is that society is, man. If you're not, we're just so freaking weak nowadays, man.
So I got a question about the gym because you probably see different walks of life in the gym. Like kids that come from troubled backgrounds, kids that don't come from troubled backgrounds. What do you see like a change in attitude wise? Do you see a change in attitude after they get in there? They kind of, it's different than getting a street, like you said. Like there's a lot of training that goes involved. There's a lot of mindset stuff that gets involved to this stuff. So what kind of positive changes have you seen in kids?
What I see the most in kids when they're in there is breaking through that barrier of I can't, and in any sport, when you're pushing yourself, you start getting tired, your mind starts telling you can't. Well, in mixed martial arts, when you try and say you can't and you got somebody on your back squeezing at your neck, there is no I can't,
That's true.
And so, there's some guys that tap real quick, right. And then the gym kind of, the kids are like, hey, why did you tap so quick,
Right.
And next time you might see them hold out a little longer,
I see.
And it just builds that mind.
Right.
That didn't kill me. So, why did I get out so quick?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can hang in there.
You keep talking.
And so as that builds, that's what I've noticed with kids. It mentally makes them stronger. And then they say, hey, simple stuff's not going to kill me.
You know what? It's kind of like I myself, I don't think I've been pushed ever
to
like
the brink,
that,
to the
that,
brink,
you know.
Yeah.
And so my middle son, he wrestles, right, and he says that this is what he told me. He was like, because Jaime Garza, he's a good coach, right? And Jaime does not mess around, dude, when it comes to like conditioning these kids. And my son told me, he says he was at the breaking point where he was like, I just can't do this anymore. I'm done. And he got to that point to where he was like, he says my body broke down. I couldn't do it, but I kept going. And he says that was just the beginning.
Mm.
He says, you think that you don't have it, but it's just your mind is weak.
Yeah.
And then after you tell yourself that you can do it, your body will, your mind is way stronger than what you think it is. And I was like, really? He sat there and told me these things, and I was just like, man, dude, I need to. Have I lived yet? That's what I'm thinking. No, really, have I lived yet? Because
I think none of us have ever. None of us, but we rarely probably been pushed to that point where it's just
right.
because we always stop. We get to that threshold and we're like, oh, I'm good, because why are we going to go any farther?
Right.
You know,
And
in general, right? So
Yeah.
we never get to the point where we're like all the way to that breaking point, and we're just like,
Right, and so when you especially your kid that doesn't, because me and Derek, we coach kids, right? So the kids that don't have like their backgrounds or their families aren't really that good, they seem like they give us the most.
yeah,
I mean, they seem like they give me more and more and more, and I'm like, thank you.
Yep.
You know. So then when I have my own son, I want my son to feel what that kid feels, because you have it good over here. So if you break over here, you're getting it easy. So this is life right here. So the thing is that's I like the way you put that. That was.
sometimes it's choices, right? Like, because you said it right, Anthony. Like, a lot of kids have so many options and choices. Some do, right? If you have more at home, you know. So why am I gonna go and bust my butt for you and break that threshold and get to that point, right? When I know that I can just go home and I have another opportunity to go over here and play, and they're not gonna push me as hard, right?
Right.
There's all that stuff. So when you have those kids that come from, you know, not as much sometimes, they're just desire for more. Right. It's just like another level.
Yeah.
Which I love, dude.
And that's one thing that I push a lot of my fighters with when they're in there, and especially in the competition when they're fighting. I know that you guys coach one of the guys that I trained, Derek Crum, and that guy is a super athlete in there, man. That guy is just a beast. But just in the corner, I love the most when I'm sitting in the corner after maybe the second round and the guy is just exhausted and he has nothing. He's like, "Coach, I'm done."
That's what it is.
And I look at him, and I just see him, and I tell him, I say, "You're not done." I say, you know what? You got one more round. This guy is just as tired as you. I worked you harder than he worked you. I know it.
Right.
Because I'm the coach.
Right.
And so if you just give me that last little bit like we do at the end of practice and you push through this, you're going to win this fight.
Yeah.
Every time the guy wins. Every time.
That's awesome.
If he can get through the mind. If you can't, then
it's all a mind thing.
Yeah.
It's all a mind thing.
And you talked about Derek Crum, who you coach, who's been doing really well in MMA. You know, him as an athlete too. Like, he was gifted. He was an athlete. He's strong, big kid. You know, and then we coached him in basketball, football and basketball. But basketball was the one who did the latest, and he wasn't as skilled per se in basketball, but he had a role, and Coach Anthony found his role, and Derek Crum became our best like defender / rebounder, just like that. The guys do all the gritty, dirty work, like the Dennis Rodman. Right? Well, you all need that guy in your team that doesn't care about the points, doesn't care about the cheers. He's just gonna put in work. And that's Derek, dude. Yeah, Derek. So how did he come about? 'Cause it was kind of weird because I didn't see him. Do we actually tell about the story in Spokane with Derek Crum? This is because I never saw him as a fighter, right?
So the thing is that Derek Crum was one of our guys, and he just, like I said, he knew how to get under the guy's skin, you know. And he knew the guy, he knew how to smile on the guy's face, right, and just outwork the guy and whatnot. And so we're over in Spokane, we're playing a game, and he's just outworking him. And we ended up losing. It was a close game. We ended up losing it by a buzzer beater. And one of the guys had something to say to Chris's, Derek's mom, which is Chris. Rest in peace. She was a good woman. I don't know if you know her. And I wanted to say something about Chris. Chris is one of the reasons why I am the part of the person that I am today. She's a good woman, and she helped me out through some things when I was younger. So rest in peace to my homegirl Chris and her son. Derek is a good dude. And but anyways, getting back to the story, he said something to Chris, and they got to arguing, and the guy ended up punching him, right?
Sucker punched Derek in the face, dude.
Yeah, and Derek, I mean, when I say he sucker punched him, he just didn't like...
It was clean.
He did like a nightclub punch, dude. He reached back, dude, and he took it, dude, like, boom, and looked at him like... And anyways, this big scuffle kind of hanging out, and at the end of the day, the kid's fucking in prison, so that doesn't really matter, you know?
Yeah. So it's crazy. That's our story of the Crum fighting, right? But a tough kid. Yeah, always a tough kid. He was so tough. When he came to you in MMA, how did that come about? Because I've never even asked him how that's. And I've talked to him plenty of times, right?
Yeah, it was funny because we were fighting. We had a fight over in Othello at there was some little club there, and it was a kickboxing match. And I had a few guys fighting there, and I think we won 4 out of 5 fights there.
Wow.
And he was in the crowd. I guess he had gone to watch the fights with his girlfriend, Mia. And one of our fighters, Michael Northup, was friends with him and was like, came up to me and goes, "Hey, Isaac, there's this guy named Derek Crum who's sitting right there. Tell him to come into the gym. That guy is a freak athlete." Yeah. Wow. And I was like, you tell him to come to the gym. You tell him to come into the gym.
Right.
I don't beg anyone to come into the gym. If
right.
people want to come in, they come in.
Right.
And so I guess he did. He told him, and Derek showed up. And man, that guy, he has 4 belts on the wall. Heavyweight champion, four-time heavyweight champion. He dropped down to 205 when he went professional, but he was 10-0, undefeated as an amateur.
Wow.
Yep, he's got a chin like granite.
Yeah,
that comes from us, not you. That comes from us. Like,
okay, you're gonna be
hey, all teamwork right here. It's all teamwork right here.
Yeah.
So is he still fighting and training, taking a break right now?
He's taking a break, but he's training. He comes in a few times a week. He's working a lot. Yeah, trying to
That's
get
the
his
thing
money
with
right.
fighters, right? Like it's you got to do that stuff on top of real life and work, right? It's got to be a grind, man.
Yep. It's you got to work, and then you got to train, and then you got to fight all together. So it's tough to try and manage everything. It's better when you don't have kids.
Right. Yeah. Take your time.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. It's like, cause my sons, I was like, I probably should take him down to Isaac.
I'm thinking about taking my 10-year-old down there, dude.
No, really, no. That's the
even
thing
honestly,
is,
my just turned 14-year-old. Do you do 14-year-olds?
Yeah,
still.
Especially the anti-bully thing, because that's huge in this community, dude. And I think it's big, Isaac. I think that I really truly think that if you're a police officer, you should have at least a brown belt or somewhere to where you have MMA fighting in your background, so you're not intimidated. Because if you're that's the whole deal, is if you have that fighting skill with you, man, your confidence goes so high. Because you look at a guy that's like 250 pounds, it's like, dude, I got an art. This dude's gonna throw some crazy haymakers. I'm gonna grab his arm and I could break it before he hit the ground. And I think that our officers just have this training that they do that is. It doesn't have nowhere to. So I think that if you're going to be a police officer, I think that you should have at least a brown belt or a black belt in jiu-jitsu and MMA, to where you can handle yourself like a man. That's what I'm saying. And I know that.
And also, I think the biggest thing within that, dude, and I think part of, we'll go off a little bit. Our last show, Isaac, we talked about defunding the police or police reform. What does that look like? With all this stuff going on in our country, and I think it's just. The mindset part is the crucial thing out of it all, because I think you have people in power that don't have the mind to be in power. That's why we have this abuse, right? But I do think what you're talking about, the training in martial arts and jiu-jitsu, is a lot of mental training, right? Mental. And it can definitely strengthen your mind to handle situations without killing people, right? Or hurting somebody unnecessarily. So I don't know. I think we need it. That's a great probably thing that needs to happen, man. In my opinion. What's your take on all this chaos? And if you want to get on that topic, I know it's. As for me,
since I started training, I haven't been in another bar fight since. So it just changed. Yeah, it changed my mindset, because I was just when people say something or start something, it's just like in my mind I process them, and I'm just like, I know what I can do. I don't need to prove anything, and I don't want to hurt you either. So go on your way, and that's it. Yeah. So that's what I've noticed with my training and with the abilities that I have now and how I train others. And I tell the kids that too when I train them, the anti-bullying. I say, we don't use this at school. We don't use this on our friends. It's nothing to play with. Yeah. It's a skill. It's to build your confidence, and it's to know that when you're walking around, you're not scared that someone jumps on your back. You can't protect yourself. That somebody attacks you. You can't protect yourself. That's what it's for. It's not for playing with your friend saying, "Hey, let me make you pass out." Right. If I hear that, then they're done. I won't train them anymore. Yeah. And so I do have parents that are sometimes worried. They're like, "Well, my kid's he's kind of aggressive. He has ADHD. He has this and that." I come in, they get focused. They get focused when they have a goal and they have something to do.
Right. So movement, moving it. I know that you and Derek, like, I'm not so much. I mean, I am. I'm just a little bit different than this. But I know you guys really, really are in the, like, you believe God's moving you every step, and Derek is the same way. So I know that God plays a part into pretty much everything. That's the way I feel. So where's God? Where do you think your future is with not just MMA, but just you have your MMA and you have this deal? Where do you want to see yourself with God being first, moving you in the next 15 years?
Well, I mean, that's the highest question ever, because God leads every step. I make my own plans. I say what I want to do, but God always has his way. And so, I pray daily. I ask him, what do you want me to do? Bring the ones into the gym that need the help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Use me, and he does. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people say that, they're like, well, Isaac, you are successful in a bunch of different areas. How is that? And I say, well, I just ask God, what do I need to do? And he puts me in the area that I need to be. He matches me with the people I need to be matched with, and it just works out every time.
Right.
And so I do. I mean, we're a faith-based gym, and I tell the guys that every time. We have a no cussing rule, so you'd already have like 40 push-ups right now. You'd be down
you want to get
I might get one or two a show, and I blame it on Anthony.
Hey, but let me tell you, Coach. If I got in there, I wouldn't cuss at all. Dude. I can guarantee you. But fuck that shit. We're in the lab today. No. But no, that's good shit, man. That's good, man.
Yeah.
That's
so we have
amazing.
a no cussing rule, and we pray every time after practice, because it's like God is everything to us. And it's funny because I had a guy come in and he was like, well, I'm a Satanist. And I was like, well, I mean, we all have our beliefs. And if you believe Satan can give you some powers to, outdo someone in this gym, go ahead. Yeah. He got whooped. He never came back. Wow. He took his Satan powers and dipped out.
Everything that you're saying is Derek always says exactly what you're saying. And it's one of those things. It's good to be around people that have a way, especially when they talk about God and whatnot. And I know that everybody on the show, we're going off, and if you don't like it, we don't give a fuck. You can turn the channel. And that's just who I am on the show. Yeah. But I'm just glad to have you on the show, man, and kind of let people know out there that if you want to basically better yourself as, an individual and your kids, this is the guy to go to, So.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's awesome, bro. I'll share a quick story too, just about because I do believe heavily in faith, and the power of God, and how it moves in our lives, and how it puts people in our past and our lives for specific reasons, right? But a few years ago, I decided it was heavy on my heart. My journey, and my faith and stuff had just been growing and growing and growing. But I decided with our basketball team that it was important to me that I wanted to just pray with the boys before every game. It was important that it was just something that was put on me that if they weren't getting it at home, that they're going to get it from me. Mm-hmm. If they were getting it at home, I was just going to reinforce that as well. So I started praying with the kids, and Aunt and I, Aunt was on board with it, which was great. Aunt was on board with it, and we did it for a couple years, and then what was crazy is I missed a game, or I was late to a game. So I was like, Aunt, when I'm not there on time, Aunt takes care of everything, gets them all going. Right. Well, Anthony, I come in and I came in late, and I said, hey, we got to pray. And he's like, oh no, we got it. We already did it. Yeah. And I said, oh, you got it? He's like, yeah, the kids did it. Yeah. I'm like, what, dude? Yeah, and it blew my mind, because it was never my intention for me to pray. It was to get them comfortable enough to be proud enough to pray, right? And that was powerful, bro. So powerful. And that was Anthony did that, bro.
Yeah.
So that was powerful. Hey, but the cool thing is this is transitioned, right? Because now I have my youngest guy is 10, so I've been doing it with them since they were in 3rd grade. Mm-hmm. But the cool thing is I love what these guys is, since I've been doing it since they were 7, 8 years old. Dude, they pray themselves. They love it. They scream amen afterwards, dude. And it's the coolest thing, because there's no shame, embarrassment in that. Right. And I just hope that stays that way. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah, so. Exactly. I got a little story as well.
Go for it.
Just within the mixed martial arts world, I hooked up with a promoter. He's one of the top promoters out of Spokane. I don't know if you guys heard of Rick Little. He's got UFC fighters, Mike Chiesa, Juliana Pena.
Okay, I know.
He's Daniel Spitz, a lot of UFC fighters. He's got the most, and he's out of Spokane. Well, I hooked up with him, and he kind of took me under his wing, started showing me, hey, you know, this is the ropes. This is how the big boys do it, you know?
That's cool.
And it really jumped my game up. But I know that we threw an event here in Moses, and I asked him if we could pray before the event, because it was an event that happened right after a suicide of a child happened here. And, you know, I just thought that we needed to pray. Well, he implemented that, and now he does it in all his events. You know, before they open, we do the, you know, Pledge of Allegiance. Well, no, Star Spangled Banner. And then we do our national anthem. Jeez, I just named everything.
It's all good.
You'd have been all right when
It's the one. It's the one.
Yeah. And then he does a prayer, and he implemented that, and I love it now. And it's just, it sets that base. If you've never heard of God, it just puts him right there.
Well, you know what I think, that you
like
come in and you might just give somebody that's wanting to do it the confidence to do it, right? And it just takes exactly another man, another person, just to say, hey, it's good, it's okay, we can do it, you know?
Right.
That's amazing, bro.
And that's the way that you said that is that we do those things where we stand there, we put our hand over our heart, and we say all these things, but we should be putting our hand over our heart first for God. Then we can say this flag means something or something like that. But we have to realize that what it is. And if you're a Satanist or hey, that's your business, but that don't have nothing to do with you. But what I'm talking about is like, that's real talk, because like me, when I was younger, I had an older lady that taught me those type of things. My mom and this older lady taught me about the whole prayer. We just did it when we ate,
Yeah.
But it taught me to where when we had the boys do it, it was kind of like, hey, it's your turn to do it.
Yeah.
And those kids, man, they be nervous.
And now we never lead it now with that group, and they're going to be freshmen this year, and they lead it every time.
They say this dumbass thing like, with my cool moves. But hey, anyways, we're back here, and this is what we're doing.
That's good stuff, man. I think it's cool we got on this topic though, man, honestly, because I think when Anthony and I decided to do the show, it was to just speak our truths, right? And to speak truths of a lot of people, which is a lot of different things, which is, man, we're passionate about sports, we're passionate about our family, our kids, we're passionate about coaching, we're passionate about certain things in politics, we're passionate about faith. So we really wanted a show where we can just kind of talk about everything we're passionate about. So it's cool we kind of got on this topic because we haven't got on this yet.
Yeah, and so as passionate as we are, I'm more passionate about God than all that other stuff. Or should I say, what I would say, all that other shit, okay? That's what I'm passionate about, because that gives me the opportunity to get all the other stuff, having God in my life. So, I need to go to my church more. I'm kind of confused on what religion I want to be in, but I know that there's, I believe Jesus is my Savior and all that, but... I
think it's all in timing, though.
Isaac was like, where the fuck is this show going? Yeah, but anyways, Isaac, so tell them the name of your dojo.
So it's Sacred Scars MMA, and it's on the base, 6378 Arnold Drive, and then it's right at a church. So and that's what I tell the guys too. I'm like, hey, if you guys want to come to church, it's just a couple steps over from the gym.
Wow.
But also with that, along with the with church, and I always tell the guys, I say, this is our church. That's what church is. 2 or more meeting together that have Christ in them. That's the church. Yes. So we're in the gym. We're working out together. We're a group. We're a brotherhood. We're a church. We're everything.
Right.
If we're praying, if we're talking about God there, that's the church.
That's church. Yeah.
So you don't need to say, be like, oh, what religion? Doesn't matter. We're all together. We're all one. So
I like that.
Well, and you just have influence, man. That's the thing. I don't think we realize a lot of times how much influence we have on people. And just by doing what you're doing, like, you're leaving a lasting impact on somebody that's going to change somebody's life in a lot of different ways, and in faith, right? Mm-hmm. They might know 5 years down the road, when it's their time to actually explore the faith on a deeper level, it's because you planted the seed. You planted the seed, and it wasn't forced. It wasn't pushed. It wasn't Bible thumping. I was, all these things. So I think that's just powerful. You're doing that, man. That's amazing, bro.
Yeah. So,
real quick, what time are your classes?
We do right now, because of COVID. Social distancing and everything. We are doing from 6 to usually about 7:30 p.m.
Okay.
Okay.
Monday through Thursday.
Okay, cool.
Monday through Thursday. And anybody can just show up and say, hey,
Yep. Anybody is welcome. And like I said, it's not for everyone. We do go hard a lot of times. Not punching hard,
Yeah, right,
hurting
right,
people
yeah.
hard. We just go hard as in we train and we push ourselves to exhaustion, and then we go a little bit more. So it's just getting that mental. We have some guys that come in, think that they can do it. They go through a couple of trainings and they're just like, I can't do this. It's not for me.
You gotta give Ant and I we gotta get a show in there one time. You train Anthony on one time that we can put on our
we'll put that camera on the wall and let's get in there.
But let me. I can honestly tell you this, man, and I'm talking about years from now. This guy is
dude, man.
He already knows what you're saying.
I don't know. I can't wrestle you though, dude. Because Anthony's strong, dude.
Yeah, I'm muscle strong, but see, strong don't mean nothing.
Nope.
It's about the cardio and the skill.
Yeah, I
set.
got more cardio.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You'll fall, man. If I have to, it has to be like a one hitter quitter, and then it's over, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is that you have. Is it your Caleb? Caleb is he your cousin?
He is my cousin. Yes.
My Uncle D. Listen, if you get him in there, he's gonna be a freak.
Man, I've tried with him. D, you better get him in there.
No, but he will be a freak, man.
He is. That's why
he will. We're talking about John Jones. He's gonna be long already, dude. Like, yeah.
And he's, I think with him too, like, it's all confidence, bro.
Yes.
Like he's got so much like potential in there. We see it in basketball. Like we're like, it's almost all there. Dude.
Yes.
Like it's coming.
It's coming, man. Yeah. So the thing is, I think that we got him, but you need him. He needs you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we got him. We got him. We got him. Mm-hmm. So whenever we're done with him,
we send him my way.
No. I'm trying to tell you, he needs you. You know, what I mean, I can guarantee you that we'll be talking about a star here in years to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
heck yeah, dude. So, talk a little bit about your dad a little bit, man. It was cool what you say your dad does in the community, man.
Oh, okay,
I thought that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I come from some good bloodlines. My dad, he is the president of the Martin Luther King Jr. Committee here in Moses Lake. They are a committee that puts on the events for Juneteenth. And they also do the Martin Luther King Jr. Every year. My dad, he's been under the radar, but he has helped so many lives. He worked out at Job Corps for 30 years, put in his time, his retirement, helped so many out there. But he also, was a coach. Yeah. He also was ordained pastor. That guy. No,
your dad is.
He outworks me 100 times.
Wow. His dad. Let me tell you. I remember people talking about his dad going to the Million Man March, and this is back in the '90s, and I was like, I sure wish I would have got to go. And if you guys don't know who the Million Man March is, just Google it. But his dad has been an activist for a long time.
Well, and I think we're like where we're at in society, and I think what's always been on Ant and I's heart is really just making a positive change, leaving a good legacy, and standing for all those things, man. So I think, I want to know more stuff that your dad does in the community, because I think Ant and I, we've been talking the last probably 6 months to years, like, man, we got to get invested more in these community things and get our faces out there, our voices out there. So we want to be involved in that stuff. You said Juneteenth, though. I heard that. So is that something your dad has always celebrated? Because if he has, that's pretty special, because I know it's barely really coming to the forefront across the nation right now.
Yeah.
Because of all
being farther out west, you don't know about it. But my mom, she was like, "Well, you should have known." I was like, "Mom, that's your fault. I didn't know about it, But no, that's crazy. How me being, Juneteenth and the whole, it's the Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the whole basically going back, and it's basically the freedom of, basically the freedom of slaves. A lot of them didn't know that they were free.
They were still there,
They were still there, and basically, I know technology wasn't where it was, so you had a lot of these people who had to send the message. So a lot of these slaves didn't know that they were free until like 3-4 years later.
After the fact.
Yeah, and Derek sent me this thing. Hey, man, you know about this Juneteenth? And I was like, nah, man, I don't know much about that, man. Like,
but isn't it crazy, bro?
It's
like,
crazy.
So I mean, how long is your dad?
That's the thing. My dad never pushed that on us. He never pushed race or understanding that. He always pushed for equality. But I went to the Daystar Christian Academy, and it was pretty much all white school. But I didn't ever see race. My dad never talked about it, and he kind of shielded us from a lot of it. until I got older, that's when I started, started seeing it,
Right.
especially being a professional bull rider and everything.
Right.
It was the crowd more than the other riders or anything,
Yeah.
and that's how it is in a sport. That's why
Right.
I was with Bubba, and then
Yeah.
talking about the noose in his thing. It's like, how does you get your car into the spot that the noose is at out of all those?
Out of all those.
And people, it was up there a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, why was it up there
Why
for a
was-
long
yeah.
time?
Why was it even up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, why was it up there? It's like kind of like we know that this noose is right here. Now this might be a door puller, but we know that one's shaped just like a noose, and it's been there for about 2 years. Let's go ahead and pull him in there. And Bubba's a young man, and I mean, I'm really proud of that dude. And I was watching NASCAR the other day, man. I'm like, dude,
I think he pulled us in.
He pulled
I
me
think
up.
so.
Yeah,
I
he
think
pulled
so.
me in.
And you know what pulled, I think, more people in NASCAR as well was how strong their stance was.
Yes.
Right? It
Yeah.
wasn't like, listen, man, we'll go off a little bit. We do this when we talk. For the NFL, though, to dance around the whole race thing when 80% of the league is black, then to see NASCAR where it's reversed, take such a strong stance, bro.
Yeah.
That
They
just
went
speaks
at it.
volumes, dude.
I think they had enough, and when they went out, bro, it was pretty cool, man, to see that. And you have this young man who's standing there, and I mean, he's not. Even though after it came out, the investigation saying that it wasn't this and that, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
He wasn't there.
He wasn't even the one that found it.
Yeah, he wasn't there. He wasn't found it. But the whole deal is the way that he's like, it's not gonna make him a weaker person. And that's the thing is that you just got to be a stronger person. You got to if you got God in your life, all this stuff is it's really nothing. You just got to be a better person. And I'm not saying turn on the cheek because you got to kick a motherfucker's ass every now and then, but close enough to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, back to my pops, he's been pushing for, he wants us to stand up for what we believe in. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want us to see, race or color or feel like we aren't good enough because of our race. He never told us or anything like, oh, you're going to have to work harder because you're black. Oh, you're not going to be able to do this because you're black. Mm-hmm. He never told us that. So we didn't even come in with that mindset,
Yeah.
I'm right now a CEO of, our business. I have, my own gym. I was a professional bull rider. It's like he told us you can do whatever you choose to do.
Yeah.
and I can guarantee you, dude, if your dad was on this show, I wouldn't have cussed once.
Me either. Mine would have been over
I
there.
respect my elders too damn much, man. I see you talk about, hey, a motherfucker, and he's sitting there, yes, sir, because that's how it was brought up. So but that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I remember
I know. You know what? DeAndre's invited us to a couple events,
and we have to go.
We haven't gone over the last couple of years, man. We really have to.
We're going, and sometimes it's kind of delayed, but okay. Now I don't. I'm not gonna get deep into it, but yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah. We're gonna have to get into it, So we're glad having you on, man, and this is great, man. I'm glad to bring you on, and you can, basically, it's about what legacy are you going to leave in the community? What legacy are you going to leave in your family? What are you going to leave? Because a lot of people, they look at this. Mm-hmm. You know what? This, to me, bro, I may look up, if I was alive or dead, whatnot, and I can see what's going on, 80 years from now, my kids could be all blonde hair, blue eye. Mm-hmm. It don't matter about this. Mm-hmm. It's about what you leave in them, Yeah. So after it's all said and done, I'm just glad we did the show, and
yeah, man, I think it was cool. We got to have you on again, dude. I got a question for you, though. MMA question.
Okay.
So I'm a Conor McGregor guy. Anthony's not. What do you think of Conor McGregor?
Joke,
I think he's legitimately
a joke to me.
The man. And on top of that, he's a Tiger Woods MMA. He took the
don't you
listen,
Tiger Woods.
Listen, let me finish, dude. Anthony, I haven't gotten to our good argument.
He's kind of like a Stephen Curry.
No, what I'm saying this is like what he's done financially for the game.
Oh no, you didn't say it. Financially, that
What did Tiger Woods do for the game? He's the
Tiger
best.
Woods is the best at his game.
He's the best at his game. Connor is the best right now, arguably. But financially, what Tiger Woods has done for golf has put money in the pockets.
We need to have more shows where me and you're debating. That's what we need.
We do. But what I'm getting to is I want to know your opinion on him. One as a fighter, but don't you agree though? Financially, he's put more money in the pocket, right?
Yeah. But that's just because Dana's babied him, bro.
Well,
he gets away with everything.
It's because
he fucked some people's eyes up. He threw a thing through the window. That guy's out of hand. He should be in.
It's because how much money he draws. Money talks.
It doesn't. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So as a fighter, what do you think though?
I think he's a great fighter. He's a phenomenal fighter. I think he's an even better businessman. Mm-hmm. He knows that you have a short window in the UFC. Yep. You're pushing about 5 years max, so you need to max out your money. Mm-hmm. And so he's taken the biggest fights. He's lost a couple, but it didn't take away from his legacy. I think he makes more off his whiskey than he does all his fighting.
Yeah.
But the thing with him is he was smart enough to know that, I'm going to get in, I'm going to get my money, and I'm going to get out. Went after Mayweather, calling him out. And, Mayweather, he's a businessman too, so he saw that.
Yeah.
And the thing with him, I think that why he's so big is he has a country behind him.
Yeah.
That's true.
He has Ireland. And so it's like.
He's the only.
Yeah.
Right?
So he brings all the Irish. And
that's the thing. He has Ireland, but I would say 90% of the white people I know in America think that they're from Ireland. So he has them too.
I'm a big fan. I've always liked him. And I like the fact that
I think he's a good fighter.
And then plus what I see too is the game. He's playing the game. Mm-hmm. He found out what his niche is. He talks a lot of trash. He milks that, right, for money, right? I get it. I see it. So I think it's like, hey, great businessman. Mm-hmm. I think that Anthony argue about this guy all the time.
This motherfucker punching senior citizens in bars.
I don't agree with this.
So the whole deal is Derek got me.
Hey, but one of the things that got me, though, honestly, was when he took the Nate Diaz fight on short notice, got beat. He got beat. Nick
was washed up, bro.
I'm saying he didn't have to take the fight, though.
Nate was getting ready to retire before that, bro.
But what I'm saying is he didn't have to take the fight. He took the fight in different weight classes, bigger. He got beat, and then I think, man, that's a fighter. He's gonna go fight whoever, whatever, and then he fought him again and won. I give him a lot of credit for that.
I don't put him in that count. I say that guys like Cormier would take a fight up at a higher. I like Cormier.
I just think you're a Conor McGregor hater, man.
No, I'm just saying. These guys like Anderson Silva, John Jones, these guys will fluctuate during different weights. But the thing is that Conor McGregor did never really fight any A-class guys at a higher weight. That's just the way I feel. I think Conor McGregor he's just, like you guys said, he's just making his money. And I think he's a great fighter, dude. I guess the best front leg kick. His skill set is A-class, but I don't think he is like the best.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's an opportunist, and he finds guys that he knows he can pick apart, and he says, Dana, hey, let me have it, and then he gets it.
Yeah.
Like Cowboy, that was the last one that he had.
He destroyed. I didn't think he was going to do Cowboy like that.
I didn't think so either.
Cowboy's tough, dude.
Cowboy, they said he fucked him with a shoulder knock hit. I've never heard nothing like that in my life, man. So I was like, damn.
And Conor said he trained for that.
Mm-hmm.
He said
against him because he would do something certain, he could get him with that.
Yep.
Man. That's wild, dude.
That's what I mean. He focuses on one guy, and that's his meat. He just studies it until he wants to go at him.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at like the heavyweight side of it, I mean, remember when Brock Lesnar came in, how he was just walking through guys? Brock Lesnar was a beast. And then if you like me myself, like I told you guys, I'm not a Roy Jones, but a Rampage Jackson guy, and I don't know, dude. Rampage, he was just like your guy, dude. Like. And then fucking John Jones destroyed him.
I wish John Jones could keep his head together.
But
he act right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he could go down as the best. And he may still.
He'll go
as
down.
the best to ever do it for a long time. But he's lost so many years with just the nonsense, man.
So you said that you have a fighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so out of all the guys you're training right now, who do you think can be like name 3 guys that you think that you can see them going at least?
I like that you put it at 3. That way I don't get too many guys trying to beat me out. Like, you didn't say my name.
Evaluate some of the talent you've had, man. I'm curious about that, dude. So.
I have 5 pro fighters and 33 amateur fighters in my gym.
That's a lot.
So,
man.
yeah, it's a lot. And it's, sometimes we have 20 people in the gym. Sometimes we got 2. But I have an up-and-comer, Jimmy Molina, who's going to be fighting July 20.
That just sounds like a professional name, Jimmy Molina. Go ahead. What about him?
Yeah, he's Jimmy Funky Cold Molina.
I like that.
So he's going to be fighting July 24th at Northern Quest Casino, and he's fighting against Jimmy Dempsey.
What?
So Jimmy versus Jimmy. I told the other place, we got to see who's Jimmy's better,
Right.
And I know mine
when
is.
When is this again? When?
July 24th. It's a Friday.
I'm gonna be there.
Oh,
we should check that out. Huh?
We're gonna go.
It's an outside show, so it's out on the big venue there, and it's gonna be good. And Jimmy, he is he's the total package, man. He's got the karate. He's got the smooth hands. I put a lot of videos out on him, and it's just everything's so smooth, so smooth. But I got to tell him all the time, Jimmy, you got to calm down. You hurt all my guys in the gym. And he's like, oh, yeah. And he's like, man, I am going easy. I'm like, go easier than easy then.
Wow. How old is he?
I think he's 24, 23. 20.
Okay, wow.
He's not that old.
Is he from here?
Yep, he's from here.
Wow.
Yeah. And he said he used to be he said he was a skinny little kid in high school, got picked on and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a beast now. And
Jimmy Molina.
He can't take me on the ground.
No,
Not yet.
Yeah. Even if he could, he would be like, Coach, just go.
Oh yeah, maybe. Oh, now you made me think. Maybe he's just taking it easy on me.
What's his nickname?
The Funky Cold.
I like that.
Yeah, he's funky cold.
That funky cold. So who's number?
So then I got Derek Crum, and he's Thor, baby Thor, the Viking prince. I
like that too. Damn.
Then I got Derek Thompson.
Derek Thompson.
Yep, he's out of Ephrata, big heavyweight. He came and took the belt after Derek left.
Okay.
And so I know Derek and Derek are 2 heavyweight champions in our gym.
Wow.
I have. Man, now I got to think of everybody, but
that's the thing. Is but you said just kind of remember. So that's the 3 guys. Come up. But I know that Derek Crum, it's his dad. His dad coached a football team.
Oh, Michael Northup.
Is he bad?
Yeah, he's the one that went pro for us. And yeah,
was it Michael
Northup?
Northup.
He played basketball here. I think.
I think I know him. He doesn't really have a game, but he's a knockout guy.
What does Michael do?
I think I know that kid.
Sounds familiar. It does sound familiar.
Yeah, he was. I think he played basketball here in Moses. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's one of our dedicated in the gym. Went pro before the other guys. I have Will Miller. He's another professional. Josh Reyes.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's grown.
What about the Andrew kid? You got Andrew. And Andrew, I watch my son Russell.
Andrew Keel. Is that what you're talking about? Oh man, that kid. He's going to be something special.
Yeah, I like Andrew. He's got a little anger. Short fuse. He's short fuse.
Yeah.
During wrestling matches, he would like pin a guy and he would get up and do like some WWE in your face.
Yeah.
I'm probably exaggerating, but
no, that's Andrew.
Andrew was like, we're talking about high school wrestling. He was just like, yeah, beat your ass. Like, I was like, damn, that dude, he's serious. Like, I would like his matches.
He's got a career after, right?
Yeah, he's going to WWE. If he doesn't work out with the WWE for sure.
Yeah, he came into the gym, and I think he started when he was 16. 15 or 16.
Wow.
And he right away, I want to fight, coach. And I was like, man, you're too young. I can't get you a fight. Yeah, give me a fight. My grandma will let me have a fight. I was like, and so he made me talk to his grandma, and he got a fight, and he won. He won like his first 4 matches, and then all of a sudden they wanted to give him a title fight. I'm like, no, let's not do it right away. No, I want it. So he went out there. He fought for the belt twice. He got beat once by knees to the groin. The guy kneed him, I think, 7 times in the cup. Dirty fighter. But yeah, Andrew, he's a great kid, and he's got that mindset. He's one that he just wants to go 100 all the time, and he doesn't care. Jimmy bloodies his nose every single day when they're in this barn. I got to tell him, calm down, down. Jimmy, remember, he's a minor. Don't hurt him.
Yeah.
And Andrew, don't try and kill Jimmy. He's got to fight.
Man, you guys, you got a good group of guys, man. That's awesome, man, because it's like you said, it's a brother. It's a brotherhood. And the whole thing is that the Lord runs the head of it, and that's awesome because, every time I see your dad, dude, when I see your dad, I think that's a man of God. I don't know why. Just every time I see him, first thing I think, that's a man of God first.
Wow.
And that's cool, good.
That's cool.
And I think that in Moses Lake we need different men of ethnicity to basically show.
Definitely. The Moses Lake needs diversity. It does, big time, And on top of that, I think what happened right here, we're not as young, anymore, right? We're late 30s now, and but we need young blood, right? And I still think we are that young blood to come in and infiltrate the system just to get people excited, to get different groups of kids involved in things, and to add a new excitement to stuff, man.
Right.
That's where we come in.
Right.
And it's important that we, I think as minorities, right, we come in with new philosophies and ways to approach things to give that to the younger generation, so they can come up and take from that and go even more. And especially in our small town.
Right. And that's the reason why I wanted to do this show, is because what I seen in your dad and what I seen in you and what I see in Derek is a similarity, you know. It's like if Derek never really got into like the Lord, you know, you've been in it for a while, Derek. But what I seen is that he talks about God all the time, and I was like, this is a God. Your dad's a God-fearing man, and then his child's doing this thing. And, you know, I don't know you that much, but I know of you, you know. And I was like, I know that you believe in God and your dad, and you know your brother Abraham and all. I know that. Okay, these guys are doing something positive, and you got to think that the reason why I'm doing these things in the community is because of him. Because I just like that, you know. But he was one of those guys like, hey, we got to dig in. We got to help this community out to become better. And I'm like, oh, to figure itself out. And he's like, nah, man. We got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it. And I'm just like, and I live next door to him. And he was like, we got to do it. Man, we got to do it. Man, we got to help. And I was like, man, we do got to do it. Motivator. No, I'm serious. This is my brother, man. This is my brother becoming a better man, you know. And I think that having you and Derek sit here right now, and I think that this is a good thing for this community. Huge.
Well, I can tell you right now, bro, like, because I know you, right? We've known each other for a lot of years, but we never really sat down and have deep conversations. And I can tell you now, like, I've learned some things tonight, dude, that you impressed me, bro. Like, honestly, dude, I would take my kids right now to your gym and just to learn new techniques and know who's teaching it, right? It's a good, solid person, man. So this is good, bro. Like, I think that, I agree with you, Anthony. This is a good thing we set this up.
And you got to take, it's not about you, it's about your daddy, all right?
That's true, man. I mean, I give all credit to my daddy.
And the whole deal is that you're like your DeAndre's like your dad, and DeAndre, these some humble dudes. We talking about from Florida, as far as you can go.
That's my
He's got some deep. We talking about like some roots. You know, you got some deep roots, you know. So the whole deal is you got some humble men, man, which is awesome. And I'm just glad we did this show. And we will be reaching out to you. I already know we'll be reaching out to you. Derek will be reaching out to you in the future. And it may not be tomorrow, but it will be there that we're going to reach out.
Well, I think that the biggest thing is, bro, like what's passionate to me, and I can tell with you, is really just affecting the youth, right? And I think Anthony, I've been doing this for so long now, 15 years coaching kids, and we know, you know, and you hate to see some kids, you invest so much, and you hate to see some kids fall through the cracks, right? I just love now, bro, honestly, bro, I see it another outlet where I'm like, hey, I might not be the guy,
right?
And I don't got too much pride to say I might not be him.
Right.
This sport that I do and what we do may not be the thing, but Isaac may have something for you. And I can now introduce you, right?
Yes.
I just think that this is so beneficial, man, for what really we've been doing for 15 years now.
That's what it is. And Isaac may look and say, you know what, hey, this didn't work. Hey, let's try this. And that's how it is. That's how we got to get bigger as community. We got to reach out to one another. Yep. And I think that this is something huge to me, you know? Yeah. You know, so out of all the shows that we've done out there and all the shit that I talked and did all that, this show is important to me because it's bigger than me, you know? Yeah. So,
for sure.
That's what's up, you know?
So, you got anything else we want to get in or what?
No, I'm done, bro.
Hey, that was real.
Isaac, bro, seriously, thank you for coming on, Isaac, man. This is the lab, DnA. Bro, we appreciate you, dude. Seriously, taking some time away from your family. Time is precious, man, so we appreciate you being here. And everybody out there that's listening, man, I hope you guys check out his gym. Check him out. If you want to get in there and get trained up, or your kids do, this is the guy. So, Isaac, we appreciate you, bro.
Okay. I got to give a shout out to my backbone, Marissa Jones. You know, she's the one that always has to, you know, put up with me going everywhere, working, putting in my time in the gym. Right. You know, and then she's like, well, you can't work out with me at the gym for a little bit. So I go down there and work out with her for a little bit, tell her what to do. She's like, I don't need you to tell me what to do. And I'm like, oh, okay. You just need to sit there and watch me work out. Okay, I can do that.
That's what's up, bro.
Hey, behind every great man or good man is a great woman. Hey, we know, bro.
That's true.
Yeah.
For sure. What do you got, Ant?
This is the DnA, our legacy, our beliefs, our show. Deuces.